Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Toonkind at 12 frames per second. I am Authenticity. Today I will be playing Rubberandyoureglue, Glue for short. I am joined by the spectacular...
I am... Hi. Sorry, my mic was not picking up. Shit. Great start here. Hi, I am Spectral Haunts, and I will be playing Private Investigator Grim Tome, also known as Tome.
I completely missed that his first name was Grim.
Yeah, his first name is his name is Grim Tome.
Like, is it short for Grimoire?
Okay, no it is not, but he isn't. His XP's name is Grimoire, so the only reason it's not short for that is because then it won't even be an XP. It is Grim Tome. The tome comes from Grimoire, but it's also a pun.
Cool.
Because he's... Yes.
Sorry, I'm clueless and also a little bit out of it.
No, you are so valid. I don't ever mention his first name outside of intros. So if you don't listen to it, he won't, like, he says it very quickly in character as well because he doesn't like being referred to by his first name.
He's like Cher or Adele. One name. Like
it's just, he's like, yes, Private Investigator Grim Tome. Just very big emphasis on the latter part of that. Yes, okay, yeah. FPS time.
We are on it. We're on it.
We are very God.
Alright, so Tome, you have some questions for Rubberandyoureglue, Glue for short, that I don't think they necessarily got to during the events of Finding Fractal.
No.
Questions like, what are you? What's your deal? What the fuck is up? You know.
Yeah, your normal questions when regarding Glue are absolute beloved, I say, as Spec.
And you know that you can find them at the Toontown Public Library, where they work and also live.
It's very convenient for Tome, who lives in Toontown.
I have to ask, what's your sort of plan of attack for finding a library cryptid in the library?
Well, first plan is Tome is going to attempt to use his perception, since that's what he's meant for, and just walk in and, while he's looking at books, hope he sees Glue. Worse, he will try asking to see if somebody else has seen Glue.
Oh, you go up to the front desk?
Can he roll a perception first to see if he can just see Glue?
Sure.
I don't know if he will be able to. I'm going to roll an actual perception instead of using his passive because I like the idea of him. That's a...
Oh?
That's...
Spec, you okay, bud?
Me, I'm going to roll, instead of using passive, because I think it would be funny. Dice parser. So here's a nat 1 on perception.
You're pretty sure this is the right library, but not super sure.
Oh God. Yeah, he's going to ask front desk now.
Yeah,
alright. This is a start. It's the best start. We love it when the first roll is in that one. For the thing.
Oh no. Discord, why do you do this? Hi, sorry.
You're good. It gave me time to gather myself because I was absolutely losing my mind.
I gently pat you. God, alright. So, you're going up to the front desk, huh?
I am indeed.
Alright. Sorry, I need to get the giggles out of my voice or else I'll never be able to do this voice.
You got it. Take your time.
You go up to the front desk and there's this sort of like squat, sort of toadish looking toon, who's got a typewriter, but instead of like a page, there's like a book stand, and she's reading a book. And she looks up and goes, "Hello and welcome to the Toontown Public Library. How can I help you?"
God, I love that voice. I'm looking for, well, you see, very tall, goes by the name Gloo.
And who's asking?
Tome. My name is Tome.
This person squints at you. Hold on, I'll page him. And she flips open a notebook and tears out a page.
Tome just kind of stands there awkwardly, rocking on his heels, rubbing the back of his neck. He has like this slight sniffle.
Yeah, she writes glue on the page and then crumples it up, and like holds it up to her face and goes, "Glue, please report to the front desk." And then tosses it down the hallway, and it bounces off the wall, and then the other wall, and then the ceiling, and then the floor, and sort of like continues this down into the depths of the library. And she just sort of like settles and waits.
Author, my beloved, this is the best thing I have ever witnessed. I need you to know that. God.
What? She's paging him.
Yeah, she's I'm not gonna be able to keep a straight face this FPS at this rate. I'm literally gonna spend the whole half of this FPS on the ground dying. This is good. This is fine. This is great.
God, would you like to make another perception check?
Yes, please. God, sorry. I am dying right now from this.
I'll say while you're doing that, the librarian goes, "So, you're the one from the dog thing, huh?"
Yes, that would be me. Has Gloo talked about it?
Such as they have. It's very hard to get an expression off this person, but they're sort of like, they've sort of got like a universal sort of like wide sort of froggish like scowl on their face.
God, I love that. I got a 19 on perception, but could I also roll an insight on this person?
Absolutely.
That's a 13.
13. She's just sort of like sizing you up. You're getting, a little bit of like a lot of gruffness. And also a little bit of like maybe protectiveness. Like, and I'll say that you definitely remember that this is one of the voices that Gloo echoed beyond the people who were present. So take that as you will.
Tome is definitely internally clocking that. He doesn't want to exactly bring that up because he's not here to ask her the question, but there's definitely the internal clocking of, well, that explains where that voice came from. And also he thinks over the lines used, and he does a little bit of dot connecting. There's a little bit of connections like, okay, this person cares about Gloo, this person just looking me over, this person will hopefully not kill me. Listen, Tome understands. Protective people can be very, very scary.
Oh, with a 13, I think you can say that this person isn't scared of you.
No. They scare him. I do point out, Tome has admitted out loud he's scared of the Camille Christie, who is a 6-year-old. So, like, I am pretty sure Tome's fear tolerance has been proven to be very funny and tune-based. Nice. Anyways, yes, 19 perception.
With a 19 perception, you see sort of this pale, lanky figure, like slip out of a panel in the ceiling and sort of carefully make their way down to the floor, and then sort of like lurch their way over. And hey, Gloo's here. They look like Gloo.
I love Gloo so much. I would perish for Gloo.
No, wait.
God, I love Gloo so much. Tome watches this, and he just has the most neutral face as he watches this, like, yes, an average Wednesday afternoon, fun. But he does give, like, a little wave to Gloo, and there is this, his face does twitch into a smile when he sees them. But he is not scared.
I think that they... Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, despite the obvious minor Eldritch horror vibes that gave me, the player, Tome is like, this is normal.
Yeah, and they wait until they're, a good, pretty near to the desk before they go, in your own voice, Private Investigator Grimtone.
I'm making a whiz save because I really think it's funny that's what catches him off guard. Oh, that's a 22. Nice. Tome lost his sanity somehow. Tome blinks at that before there is a slight chuckle. Still not used to that.
Still not used to that. And the librarian goes, Gloo, for once, would you take a break? Just go with them. Be back by the time your shift starts tomorrow. And Gloo kind of looks at her, looks at you.
Tome gives another wave.
They wave back. And the librarian goes, fantastic, get out of my library.
Author, this character is now one of my favorite creatures to ever exist. I'm sorry. Everything about them is perfect. It's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, Tome probably gives a rocking of his heels again as he kind of tucks his hands into his pockets. We could go for a walk. I did say I'd visit, so...
Go for a walk.
Tome takes that as a yes and kind of nods and gives a sniffle as he rubs his nose slightly before he nods towards the door.
I think Gloo starts to follow, and then they look back at the librarian and they go, Hildegard. And the librarian goes, yeah, I'll watch your kid for you. And Gloo nods and heads out the door.
I will say Tome, this is probably the only he can mention it, does raise an eyebrow and goes, Moss?
They nod.
Tome gives a nod as well, but and there's a little bit of an awkward shuffling of his fingers before he nods, like, okay.
I think they add, in Moss's voice, learning to read.
His face does soften a little. He's like, glad to see that didn't stop then.
They nod. It's hard to tell on a face like Gloo's, but they look proud. And they are sort
soft
of waiting
smile. You're making him soft.
Heavens to Betsy.
Gosh, I can't believe you're making the uncle and dad energy come out. The horror of it. The absolute horror.
I hand you a cryptid. Here you go.
Listen. God.
Cast spell of make me soft.
Yeah, basically, that's what's happening here. Takes the cryptid, holds gently. Yeah, anyways, they are outside now, walking. Making their way downtown, walking fast.
Something like that. But I think that Gloo will wait, like, they're sort of half trailing you, like keeping a pace, but like you are deciding where to take them.
See, this is the point where I, the player, probably should have done a little research into Toontown, because Tome is from there and grew up there, but I am a fool. So we're just going to say they're just kind of casually, you know that kind of walking you do where you don't really have a set direction, so you kind of just keep going?
Yeah.
That's the kind of energy I feel like is coming up.
Yeah, honestly, like it's, I've got a few locations in mind that I've used in the past in Toontown, because it's, since the Great Universe split, nothing is set anymore. It's all just sort of primordial. But yeah, I think that they're just sort of walking.
The only place I have set is Tome's apartment, and Tome will not be taking Gloo there.
They wouldn't fit.
God, Tome's apartment would be so funny because you just have this tiny, like fresh out of college sized apartment, not even fully furnished, and you just have two of the tallest Toons just casually sitting there.
Like a clown car.
It's a clown car. That's what it'd be like. God, I love God. How tall is Gloo again?
9 feet 2 inches.
I love the fact that Tome is the shorter person here. At 7 feet tall. So you just have these two tunishly tall Toons just like casually walking down the street.
Spec, look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
Gloo is not my tallest character. Anyways.
Author excuse. We will be unpacking that later. We will be unpacking that later.
Anyways, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are we doing? What questions do you have for this very tall friend?
I feel like the first couple minutes are probably very awkward silence. And you can see the little beads of sweat on Tome because God knows he's not used to talking to people. He's not even used to meeting people again after a case. But Gloo did pique his interest for a variety of reasons. And so he kind of walks in silence for a bit before tilting his head. So, how have you been, Gloo?
How have you been, Gloo?
Tome tries to word it correctly. And he's thinking, which means his player is thinking.
I hand you the challenger today.
You hand the player who plays the no-brain cells characters for a reason a puzzle. And you watch them sweat.
You've got this, hun.
Have you been good?
Been good.
Tome gives a nod. Good. Okay. There is a pause as he thinks. And I feel like he's trying to be semi-polite. He doesn't want to just straight up start interrogating poor Gloo. It's what he wants to do, but he also knows he can't do that. There are societal expectations. He's having to put the private investigator side to the side for a bit. This is an acquaintance.
It's like, wait, I'm invested in this person. Shit.
Basically.
Gosh.
Tome is quiet and he goes, I'm glad then, so. I'm guessing you came right back here after the case?
Right back here after the case?
Okay. And you took Moss with you. Have you seen Cass at all?
Cass at all?
That's fair. He's kind of thinking over it. And I'm going to just make a D2. I'm just going to make a D2. Do you keep bullshitting Tome or do you actually bite the bullet? Okay, he speaks up. No, you can tell me no.
Tell me no.
Yes, but as you know, I am a private investigator.
Private investigator.
Yes, I was, oh, you see, I was wondering.
Wondering.
Yes, Gloo. I haven't done this in a while. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
A few questions?
Yes, I think you could help me in a way. Or at least, God, I don't know how to explain this without sounding crazy, so... You remind me of certain cases which I tend to work in the most affectionate way. I say this politely, I say this kindly. There's a reason I do these cases, and all the people involved are very good. However, I did just want to reassure myself a little.
Reassure myself.
Yes, so, like I said, you can say no. I completely understand. We've only worked on one case together. But, yes or no, would you mind if I asked a few?
They open their mouth to reply and sort of parse through what you asked, and then they go, no.
Okay. In that case, I will try my best, and if I need to reword stuff, just repeat my question. I gotta start... Oh.
Actually, before you start, could you roll an insight on... Alright.
Oh, welcome back.
Hello. I live.
You live. I just talked to the gallery at this point.
God, I'm so sorry. But
no, you're good. It helps me because I get distracted by gallery easily, so it lets me like check in.
I'm glad that it's convenient. But
I love you, author.
But before Tome begins, does he want to roll an insight?
Absolutely. It's one of his things. That's good. I say probably about to roll in at 1. Yeah, that's a 12. The dice are really being like that.
They seem to have some sort of trepidation. Like, it's not necessarily fear, it's not, necessarily reluctance, but they sort of like well, okay.
Why is the random person interrogating me?
Well, that's not either. It's with a 12, it's hard to parse. I'll say that much.
Oh boy.
But yeah, they are staring directly at you, and two mirrory reflections of your own face are staring back in their eyes.
Away from that. Okay. I guess my first question is, how long have you been at the library? Well, honestly, I've never met you before, but I know I used to go here, so consider that a bit of curiosity, unrelated to the case, but partially related.
They hesitate, because I think they hold up 10 fingers and then 8 fingers.
18 years? Makes sense then. I stopped going to the library long before that. Which, I don't know if you heard, Tome got aged up.
I did not know.
Oh, yeah, Tome's in his late 30s, early 40s now.
Nice.
So he really is a dad now. Anyways, Tome nods and goes, okay, at least that makes sense. Alright, in that case. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where you came from before the library?
No, they say in your voice.
That's fair. He frowns a little bit at that, and he kind of rolls it around in his mind before he takes a moment to think. Okay. Huh. All right, then. Have you always been able to mimic other people's voices?
Always been able to mimic people's voices? And they sort of do a shrug.
Well, that's cool, I will admit.
That's cool.
And then he pauses and he starts tapping on his side a bit as he thinks. All right, then, I ask. Do you know why?
And they say no in your voice.
Oh boy. I can hear you smiling on the other side, Arthur.
Oh, can you?
I can hear the smile.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. The Tome in me is just sitting here, rolling it around in his brain.
I'll say that. Gloo is sort of like considering. You can roll insight if you like.
I will. Listen, if you give me the chance, I will always roll insight. I will always roll for stuff. God, Tome, that's a 9.
You know, roll again.
Yeah. Please, Tome, please. That's a 22. Okay.
Okay, a 22. When you talk about what their past before the library, they hesitate. And like it's with a 22, I'll say that they're going through, the fragments that they do have from before the library. And they... Oh, that's a fumble. Okay.
Oh shit, fumble charts. I should pull up Tome while you do that.
Oh, let's see how this goes.
Oh, eyes.
Okay. They pull out a notebook and they stare at it like they haven't seen it before.
Tome's inciting that again because, like, wait a minute. God, Tome, please. That's a +7. How are you getting so low rolls? That's a 10.
I'll say, it's on their face. Like, they have no idea what this is.
Do you know what that is?
No.
I know. Yeah, I'm like, I know he doesn't. Tome frowns a lot at that and he tilts his head. But it was in your hammer space.
I think that they, also, I love the kitchen noises behind you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. It adds to the ambiance. This is a scene that's taking place in a city. Of course, there's background noises. Perhaps someone is doing some sidewalk whisking.
Yeah. Imagine they're like walking by a bakery or something.
There we go.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
No apologies. But they're sort of flipping through it, the way you might skim a book, and they honestly, they look confused.
There's a moment before Tome actually holds out a hand. May I look at that?
They hand the notebook to you.
I'm gonna roll an investigation. It's basically just to see him going through the book. See if he can pick anything up. God, that's a 5. Tome. Oh my god.
That actually tracks. It's written in code. That
Oh.
I'll say that it's not a code that you're necessarily familiar with unless you wanted to roll history specifically on that. But
I will roll history on that.
You see a lot of like arcane diagrams and formulae and like nothing sort of concrete, but like you can sort of get.
Could I roll Arcana for that actually instead of history?
Sure.
Because Tome has proficiency in Arcana. Oh my god. I don't know if you've been checking out the FPS notes where I've been rolling with Dice Parser, but that's a 7. I think I have gotten consistently only 7 or 5 or under on my rolls for this whole PS, except for twice.
You know what? Roll one more time. I'm just curious.
I am utterly convinced at this point Dice Parser's out to kill me. Yeah, that was a 7. That got up to a 10. Dice Parser has chosen violence today, and I am so sorry.
You know what? I'll give you one thing because Dice Parser does not control us. This is D&D. We do what we fucking want.
Yeah, this is an FPS. Our world now.
But I'll say with a 10, you get a couple of pages you think have something to do with the study of how magic can change. Like when a warlock loses contact with her patron and becomes a paladin or another. Or how, a wizard can lose their schooling but tap into the power of nature and become a druid.
Tome does not like this vibe he's getting.
And I'll say that there is 2 different sets of handwriting.
Oh, Tome really doesn't like this.
And
there's
Gloo is reading contemplatively over your shoulder.
Tome looks over at Gloo and he frowns and he goes, 1 second, and I'm gonna make a fumble. I'm gonna hopefully not make a fumble, actually. I'm making a hammer space roll. He pulls out his notebook and his own pencil, and he quickly flips through it, and you can roll the perception to see if you see anything while he's quickly flipping through it. But
sure.
Yeah, see if you notice anything. Because you are looking over his shoulder.
Seven.
Okay, so Dice Parser is just violent today. Cool.
No, just for kicks and giggles. Oh, now it's a 20.
Shit. You know what? We'll go with the dirty 20.
All right, we can't keep doing that though.
It's up to you.
I'm honestly really curious, so if you will indulge me, I will not complain. But also, we can't just like roll until we get what we want.
We can get.
Unless Dice Parser continues to be a bastard.
Listen. If Dice Parser is consistently giving us below 10s, I think advantage has been earned. 1 second, Archie. So let me grab the image then. Shit. That's a dirty 20. What do you see? Okay, I will show you what you see because of the first low roll to flavor it appropriately. You see these things. You cannot read anything read the words on anything except for the 4th page. Let me pull it up. And I have to scroll all the way down to this. God, I've been waiting to use these.
Oh. Interesting.
All Gloo can read, Gloo sees all 4 of these and can probably pick up the pictures, but can only read the words on the 4th one. So this way we can flavor things, you know?
Sound, danger, her.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Have fun with this information.
Thank you.
It's a treat, you know? It's a treat for giving me treats. It's an exchange of words. Anyways, Tome flips over
Laura's
to...
not here. KT isn't here.
That pun is going to kill me. It kills me every time it happens on FPS. I'm done. I'm good. It's fine. Tome gets to a clean page, and he takes his pen, and then he hands it to Gloo and goes, "Can you just write a few words for me?"
Yeah, they do. They write their name, your name, the word library, and they hand it back.
Tome, what would Tome have to roll to compare Glue's handwriting to the two in the book?
It's actually, it's easy to see. Their handwriting is the same as the handwriting that, shows up more often.
Tome frowns and he goes, "You wrote these. Yet you don't, you don't know what this is, correct?"
Don't know what this is. Correct.
Why is your... Gloo, may I ask you, how much... Your memory... shit, how do I word... God, Tome just used his one curse word of the day. No! You actually see him pause as he says that, and he makes like a little scowl, like, I could have used that in a better place. Yeah, running gag. Tome can only curse once because it's T-rated tune. He pauses and he goes, "Are you missing memories?"
Missing memories. And they nod.
At least you know it, then. Huh. That's... Well, huh.
I think that they hold up 10 fingers and 8 fingers again. Like they
You
did
remember...
when he...
Oh, wait, you go.
Like he did, or like they did when he asked about how long they had been at the library.
You can remember the past 18 years, correct?
They nod.
Nothing before that?
They nod.
Tome, God, you don't even have to roll insight on that. Tome has a frown on his face. Huh. That does not reassure me.
I think they actually start because they were going through their fumble or their hammer space for something in particular. So they start and they roll again. Discord, please let me see.
That's a 2.
Oh, it's a 2? That's another fumble.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, it won't let me see that either. God damn it.
That's a 5. I can read it to you.
A 5, thank you. Let's see, what's a 5? With a 5, they pull out a colorful handkerchief and they look at it like, huh. And they put it back.
Don't remember that. Do you remember that?
They shake their head.
Do you see Tome take off his hat and run his hands through his hair, and he looks minorly stressed before he puts the hat back on? He's like, okay, cool. Well, it's a 4.
A 4, Jesus. That's another fucking fumble.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I guess this is what we do.
That's a 13 for your fumble roll.
Okay, 13. They pull out, it looks like a stone with a hole in the middle.
Can I roll or history?
You can roll either.
I'm gonna do Arcana again because higher thing. That's a nat 20.
It's a nat 20.
23.
All right. You know that this is a seeing stone, and it said that looking through the hole in the middle gives you sight through illusions sometimes, particularly that come of fey magic. They help you dispel enchantments that originate, from your true name. It's sort of a localized device. It's not really used in cities. It's more of like a rural thing. Honestly, a lot of people, just think it's superstition. And I think that you also spot that Gloo sort of automatically raises it halfway to their eye before they stop and they just weigh it in their hand.
Tome at it before he holds out his hand. May I see that as well?
Yeah, they drop it in his hand.
He takes it, and I'm gonna be honest, he looks at Gloo through it.
Okay. I need to pull up a document.
Oh, that's terrifying. Author, hey, Spec, you want to do a Gloo and Tome FPS? Is right up Tome's alley. Me, sure. Me now realizing what I have done. Oh, this is wonderful and terrifying at the exact same time.
Okay. You
I'm
see...
looking at all. Oh.
Okay, I'll say with a nat 20, you also see, a little bit too late, the tiny enchantment on the inner rim of the stone that causes it to see a particular effect. And for a second, you're blinded by a burst of color because you're looking at Toontown through the seeing stone, and Toontown is beautiful through it. There is color that arcs through the air and follows people's steps. People are glowing with it, like it drips off of them, swirls in different patterns and shapes. You can see it in dozens upon dozens of different footprints on the pavement. You can see it, follow a little kid as they run across your sight. And then you look at Gloo, and it's like you're looking at empty, clear glass. There's no color coming from them. It's just an empty vessel. But
Oh, Tome does not like that.
You can see smears of different colors. You see reds and blues on the hands. A swirl of light green across their chest. Daubs of orange here and there. Not completely colorless, but different. And they look back at you, and they tilt their head.
Tome raises a singular eyebrow as he tilts his head slightly, and
They tilt their head to mirror.
I know, I'm trying to think of what Tome's going to do, because the player, don't know what's following. Can I roll another Arcana to see if Tome can figure out what is he exactly seeing with other people? Not Gloo specifically, since Gloo is an exception, but...
Sure.
That's another nat 20.
That's another nat 20. Jesus, Dice Purser said, sorry, sir. Here we go.
Dice Purser said this is the one... This is actually very fitting for the Tome gag that I developed, which was the only time he uses his brain cell is for his very, very niche study of cases. So this is actually very in character.
I'll say the way that this color moves, like it blossoms through the air as someone laughs. Someone waves their hand and it follows in a great, paint swab. It's whenever someone is doing a vigorous activity, or, perhaps feeling something or thinking very hard, whenever they're actively being alive, not, it's instead of just surviving, they are living. That's when this color seems the most vibrant. Like, when you are most present is when you leave enough of whatever this seeing stone is picking up. It's like, a good word might be spirit or soul.
Oh, Author, I don't like that. I don't like what this is implying for Gloo, my beloved.
And
God.
I think that as you look through this, you look back at Gloo, and they still have their head tilted, and their long arms are sort of swinging back and forth, sort of nervously, waiting for you to say something.
Tome rolls it around, and he lowers it in his hand as he thinks. And at this point, they've probably stopped, and he starts pacing back and forth as he thinks. And you can see the way he's contemplating it as he rolls it between his fingers very casually, the same way you roll a coin or something. And he thinks over it before he finally turns to Gloo. So, you don't know what this is as well, do you?
They shake their head. I think they actually hold out their arm for it.
Tome is a smidge hesitant, but he does return it.
And you can see, it looks very strange, them holding this tiny little thing up to their very large mirror-like eye. But you see them look through it, and sort of slowly turn in place, taking in the surroundings. They end looking at Tome through it, and they sort of lower it, and they look at it, and they sort of, it's just a very, very, very small smile.
Tome tilts his head and goes, "Do you have a way of describing what you see?"
Describing what you see.
And
I think that they ask for the notebook again.
Tome gives it to them along with the pen.
And I think they sit down kind of abruptly on the sidewalk. They put the notebook on their crossed legs, and they take out, actually, Jesus, that's a nat 1. Okay.
That's another nat 1. We're getting all 16. The Gloo lore through the fumble today, aren't we?
Oh, it's that. Oh, actually, okay. They pull out, it's sort of absentmindedly, they pull out what looks like a fountain pen. And they run the tip across the paper in a broad stroke, and ink sort of like blossoms across the page, like when you do an ink drop in water. And as it sort of spreads, it starts turning different colors, and you can see, something very similar to what you saw. It's not, there's no form, no substance to it. It's like if someone took the colors that you saw and sort of tried to recreate just those. And they sort of pause and they look at it and they look at the pen like, huh.
I'm guessing you didn't know about that either.
They look up at him kind of like, ooh.
Interesting. He pauses and he thinks before he taps the notebook very gently. Those colors, that's what you saw all around?
They nod.
And, what did you see when you looked at me?
They look at the pen and they take it and they draw like a little stick figure. And Spec, give me, like, colors that you associate with, Tome's personality.
Shit. That's a real bad question to ask me, author, considering I'm also the same person who has a color changing toon, whose colors keep shifting because I'm not good at associating colors with things. Give me a second.
I mean,
I
kind of have a color, but also, I don't want to.
You can say it if you want.
I think it's sort of like this autumnal sort of like orange with flecks of green in it. Like, think of almost like
I was getting orange vibes. I was getting orange vibes from Tome.
Yeah. Like,
I'm probably biased though because the color palette is technically just shades of pink.
Nice.
Pink and yellow, so yeah, orange makes sense.
Yeah, and like there in places it darkens to a brown. In some places there's little bits of sky blue and green in it. But they just do that, and they fill in a little stick figure like that.
Tome tilts his head. Interesting. Huh. At this point, he's crouching. Well, he's not sitting, but he is crouching with his arms propped on his knees as he thinks. So those are the colors you see with me. Okay. I'll admit this is not what I was expecting, though it is not too much out of character, but it is still not what I was expecting. Interesting.
I think that while you're thinking, you know
That's
what?
a 3.
They're just going to pull it out. God damn it, Dice Mercer. I'm not going through their entire inventory.
I'm so sorry this has happened to you, author.
It's fine. It's fine.
We look the other way. At this point.
God. Whew. But they pull out a familiar business card, like the one that you got from them, and they tap it and they sort of offer it to you like, yes, this is something from before. And they sort of look sort of contemplative, and they go, I think that they repeat your question about remembering things, and then they go in sort of this clipped, clear female voice, Moss. And then they hesitate, and in a very different voice they go, nameless voices.
What was the... I heard nameless.
Said nameless voices in
You have voices that you don't know where are from.
No, they shake their head and they repeat again, nameless voices. Sorry.
Tone pauses. And he frowns.
And I will say, with the name, you think it's a name, maybe it's just the phrase. Nameless voices is said in many voices, layered over each other, all in the same tone, but as if a chorus was speaking.
Did you know people who claim that as their title?
They shrug. They didn't know, man. And
I, the player, am starting to form theories, but I cannot talk about them right now. But I am starting to form theories, and I'm looking at you with narrowed eyes right now. But it's fun. It's cool.
And
okay.
I think that they pause, and then their expression softens a little bit, and again they say, in that very particular voice, moss.
Do you not know who that voice belongs to?
They hesitate and they sort of look back at the notebook. I don't think they say much of anything.
Insight that. That's an insight moment.
Sure.
That's a 10. We're back to normal. Okay. Don't
You know what?
had his Arcana check, and that was it.
I'm giving you advantage because you're getting to know this spook pretty well.
That's a 25.
25.
We jumped.
They have an answer for you, but they also don't know how they know it. So like there's something in their head, their makeup that doesn't seem to like giving an unsubstantiated answer as fact. It's like they don't like this sort of like strange sort of like it's almost like they have to sort of blindly trust what's in their own head, and that irks them somehow. But they have some answer.
Frowns before he goes. Even if you don't know for sure, even a guess or a theory can be helpful. They're leads, if anything.
They hesitate, and they flip to the second rating. And
they what?
They flipped in the notebook that they pulled out of their hammer space. They flipped to the second set of handwriting.
Okay. That voice comes from the person who wrote those.
They shrug.
It's all right. It makes sense if you want to know for sure, considering you can't remember. Interesting.
Actually, I think they've been holding this book for long enough.
Like where that's going.
I'm going to roll. Oh, it's not letting me see what that number is.
8.
8.
What's an 8 mean? Oh.
An 8 means that they flip to the back of the notebook, and the last, I'm gonna say a quarter of it is blank. But they flip forward again until they get to the last page of handwriting, and there's an odd sort of box around one of the notes, and they tap that with their finger on accident, and roll a perception check.
I'm so rolling a perception check. What is your perception again, Tome? It is I need, for someone who's supposed to be based on perception, you'd think I'd have proficiency in it. That's an 11.
You think you see something flicker on the page, you're not sure. But you're distracted from that almost immediately, because Gloo takes a breath and says, well, I think that you're sorry. The note says, I think that your theories have flaws. However, you might be onto something. Talk to me on Wednesday and we'll go over this.
Tome. There's a pause, a very long pause, before Tome finally looks at Gloo and goes, do you remember what day of the week the librarian found you?
They shake their head.
Okay, it was a stretch, I will admit. Tome frowns. And then he holds out his hand to the book. May I look at that one more time?
Sure.
And Tome's going to use a Eldritch invocation. In a invocation, he's going to use Eldritch Sight, and he's casting Detect Magic on this book.
Okay, I need... No, it's the same document, just a little bit higher up.
The whole document scares me. It really does. It fills me with so much fear, Author. You don't understand.
I'm so sorry. I've written my shit down.
It's very smart. It scares me because I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. My beloved has suffered angst, I'm betting.
It's like holding a piece of Swiss cheese, this book. Like, it's riddled with magic the way that, a piece of furniture might be riddled with worm marks. Like, at some points, magic has bled from one page to another. In others, it's like, you can see it sort of daubed where there's a handful of formulae all together. It's smeared a little bit on the front cover. Like, this thing has been both enchanted, but also sort of around a lot of magic. And I'll say that some of the code lights up. Particularly that box.
Tome will look at the box, and I'm going to say he does another Arcana check on it. Not investigation, but Arcana this time. That's an 8. The nat 20s have failed us. They're gone now. He had his moment of shine. That's an 8. Nope, that's not going to get him anything, will it?
Not on this.
That's fair.
Yeah,
he frowned.
I'll say that whatever the box is, that serves a function, and it is complex enough that it took, like a very specific, like if this was homemade by someone good.
Oh boy. Tome is looking at that. And he's frowning, and he goes, this is... Well, on a bright side, I don't think it's what I thought it was, which is good, of course, but...
What I thought it was, which is good, of course.
But I don't know what it is. He tilts his head and looks... Oh, wait, you go.
I think that Gloo, is looking up at him and goes, what I thought it was, again.
Oh, would you like an insight on that one?
Yeah, actually, one sec, my cat wants to be let in.
Oh yeah, free the key. Hi, Gallery, how are you doing? How you doing, Gallery? You doing good today? I see one of you members of the Gallery is a little upsetty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My darling partner in the news, please. I'm going to kill you.
First thing I look when I see the Gallery, I'm going to kill you. Me? Well, I think someone's a little upset.
Oh. Love you, magic. God. God, what was I doing? I was looking up insight. Okay. $23.
Wow. I mean, I could contest that, but wow. Nope, I'm not going to contest it. I'll be nice. You gave me a little treat. I'll give a treat. Tome rubs his back of his neck, and he seems very... How do I put this? On edge, almost. It's the same way you saw him earlier when he said, "Don't know how to explain this without sounding crazy," and back during Finding Fractals events when he kept glancing at Cass.
Interesting.
He looks a little off. He's like, don't worry about it. It's irrelevant. Most likely, it was just a little theory, and I'm very glad to see it's most likely disproved.
A little theory.
Just a little suspicion for a case. Don't worry about it. He gets like a very awkward laugh. I'm notorious for those wrong theories and all.
I will say, no insight necessary. They look like desperately curious.
Tome does not want to talk. With that 23, you can tell Tome is very much shutting up about the subject.
Fine. Like, I think that you get, like, you see the moment where they're just like, oh, okay, I'll be nice. Oh, I wanna know. But it's fine. They're fine. It's all fine.
I pat you, author.
I hold up a very curious book.
I hold up a very much does not want to talk about that case. Tome.
Anyways.
Yes, anyways. He kind of rubs Spec next, and he gives a little wave. I'm like, no, don't. Just a personal little thing I've been working on. It's, I thought you could be relevant to it, but it doesn't matter. I think your case is completely separate, which is good because while the people involved in my cases are normally, well, sometimes, are very decent, we do not normally meet on the best conditions, so I'm glad to know that it is all fair and fine.
They nod.
There's Bosling's like, however, if you would want, I would be willing to help you with this situation you have.
This situation.
He is a little nod. Yes or no. I will ask you before I help.
They look down at the notebook, then they look up and they go, yes.
Tom gives a solemn little nod. Then help I will. He pauses this. He kind of thinks over and rubs his chin. I don't know exactly what's going on, and it is particularly not exactly my expertise, per se, but I can do research, especially into that notebook. And I'm going to say Tome's probably going to try and copy down some of the writing from that notebook into his own notebook.
Oh, you're trying to copy it?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me, a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my gosh. What can of worms did I just open? That's a 16.
Okay, so I need a roll.
Hey, Gallery, we really are in it now.
Okay, take 1 point of psychic damage.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And I'll say, because this is an old enchantment, you hear a voice, in your head as if from far away, but it sounds very much like one of Gloo's recordings, but like an old one. Like the older ones that they do have a little bit of like audio decay to them. This one has a lot, enough that you can't make out what it says. But it sounds a lot like the voice that the box prompted.
Tome does not like that, and he kind of steps back a bit and blinks.
Gloo, looks like...
God, Tome. I know that the Tome used in me. God, he's being an idiot. Okay. Tome takes this information. He takes the fact that he just took psychic damage from this, and he flips to a new page, and then he goes to the box. And he tries to copy the box.
Alright. Roll me a con saving throw.
I can hear. God. That's a 4.
A 4, okay. Please take 9 points of psychic damage. And the voice that you hear in your head, still kind of fuzzy, still a little bit crackly, very clearly says, "Do your own research."
God. Okay. That's not terrifying at all. Tone very much takes a step back at that one. And he holds a hand up to his head. Was he able to successfully copy it, though?
I'll say you got like the first word of each one.
Gosh, Tone doesn't like that.
And I'll say you notice on the front and the back of the notebook, 2 glyphs light up that were not immediately visible before.
Tome's gonna try and copy those as fast as he can. He is fully aware this is hurting, but at the same time, not a brain cell up there sometimes.
God.
I'm so sorry.
I gently got you. Can you roll me?
Con?
That would be 2 con saving throws.
What are we doing?
2 con saving throws. Yes, okay. 1 for each glyph.
That's a 13 and an 8.
Alright, that would be 2.
I swear, if Tome KOs himself through his stupid curiosity, I will actually throttle him.
Alright, take... Let's see. That would be 3 and 8 points of damage. Take 11 damage.
Oh boy. For the audience listening, I want you to know Tome has gone from 43 health to 22. He is almost at half health over this.
God, and I think that Gloo is going to... Actually, hang on. They're going to cast Prayer of Healing at 3rd level. So that would be...
Yeah, Tome needs that.
Oh, it's not letting me see that number.
Let me check. That is a 12.
Please take 12 points of healing.
Thank gosh.
And they grab your wrist and like pull it away from the notebook. And they look at you.
It's fine, Gloo. It's fine. I just got a headache.
They pull your hand harder. Like, no. Stop it. I think that they're going to do another prayer of healing. This one just at 2nd level. Oh wait, that should be 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So that would be 8 plus 6. Or no, excuse me, 13 plus 6.
13 plus 6?
Again, it's not letting me see what I just rolled.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you rolled a 12. So add 6 to that, got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then they're going to 2d8 plus 6. Yep, this is how it go.
You see. That's 15. So yeah, he is. Quick question: whenever you do that, it just restores you to your max hit points, right?
Right. You don't get any help from this.
Yeah, that was 12 lost. He was only 3 hit points away from max.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just rush you with healing. Like they don't like this, they don't like this, they don't like this. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Okay, fine. I can stop for now. Oh, this was interesting. Some other time, when you will let me, I want to try and see if I can copy more of these.
Actually, they hold their hand out for the pen.
Tome looks at them before handing them the pen.
And they hesitate. They look at the notebook. They look back at your notebook. And they're going to try, to copy this for you.
Okay.
And that would be... Ooh. For them, the DC is higher. So that's a fail.
Oh, no. Tome can't heal. I want to point this out.
They visibly flinch. And yeah, they just stare at the notebook.
Okay, that's enough from you as well, because unlike you, I can't heal, so let's... He places his hand on Gloo. If you won't let me try and copy, then at least let us wait for another time. How much was Tome able to copy over from the ones on the back and front?
Let me see what he rolled.
He rolled a 13 and an 8, I believe.
I'll say he got most of the one from the front, and then maybe a quarter of the one from the back.
And I'm guessing they're not glowing anymore?
They are not. They are...
Okay.
Honestly, this notebook is so banged up, it's difficult to see them. And that might be by design.
Tome's noting that mentally. He frowns before he places his hand on the notebook. I'm guessing you would want to keep this with you, I'm guessing.
They kind of hug it against their chest.
I won't take it then. No. I think it will be important that we refer to this in future. I'm going to take what I could copy over and I'm going to do research on them. I can try and see if I know somebody who might be able to recognize what these are. But until then, he places his hand on Gloo's. I think maybe it's best we put it away.
I think they hesitate and they look at the notebook and they say again, moss.
There's a pause. I think whoever helped you with this book, their name may have been Moss.
They shake their head.
It isn't?
They look frustrated, but without rolling insight, I'll say that for whatever reason, they are very sure that whoever wrote in this notebook, their name was not Moss.
Tome frowns at that, but at the same time, there pauses before it becomes a slight smile. It's like, at least you know that. And because you know that, it means we may be able to help you remember other things. Or at least get answers. It's a start.
They give him a very, very grateful look.
He pauses as he thinks. In all seriousness, I think it is best you put the book away. We don't know what else it can do, and frankly, I don't think either of us need to test how many healing slots you have.
They do.
Thank you. There is a pause as he kind of thinks. Well, I definitely got some answers, but not the ones I was looking for, and I got a lot more questions. He gives a laugh.
Here they go. Questions.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of questions. So I'm guessing probably the same questions you've had. Where are you from? How do you have these things? Why don't you remember? He frowns. You go.
They sort of sigh. And I think that they take the business card that they pulled out and they write down they write down Moss, they write down Nameless Voices, and then they hesitate. Roll me another insight.
I am. Right. Yes, no. Right, okay. I did not use the right button. There you go. That's an 18.
18. They have one more fragment. They have one more voice fragment, but they're not sure if they should include it or not.
Anything you know can help.
Roll me persuasion.
God, okay. Huh, I did not realize persuasion was a... Oh, wait, no, he has a +4 to persuasion. Never mind. I was like, huh, how does he have a +4 to persuasion? Okay, that's why. That's an 8. Nope, I already know that's not going to work.
If you're going to get this clue out of them, you have to press a little bit harder.
Tome pauses and he looks at Gloo. I can't help you if I don't know everything, Gloo. Anything you keep from me is just going to hinder the case.
They look a little bit guilty.
Oh. Tome did not mean to do a dad voice. Don't. Oh, he feels bad now.
I think you get, like, over the course of this conversation, you kind of get that, like, when they say that they remember 18 years, like, this isn't like an 18-year-old. So, yeah.
This is a kid. God, you're making the Tome dad instinct kick in. He's quiet before he places a hand on Glue's shoulder, even though Glue's taller.
I mean, they're still sitting on the ground.
Oh, Glue's still sitting? Okay, and he's crouching, so he's taller. Cool. Tome places a hand on Glue's shoulder and looks in the eyes and goes, I won't make you talk, Glue, but I I'm here to help. As much as you're willing to let me.
They sigh. They don't want to do this. They don't like this voice clip. And they open their mouth, and out comes a voice that says, I am not a liar, and neither was she.
Tome doesn't like that. Tome doesn't like that. Tome doesn't like that at all. He frowns before he taps his fingers again. I'm guessing you don't know that voice either?
I think they do grab your hands at the notebook again.
He gives it the notebook.
You can actually see that, like, for some reason, writing this is a little bit tougher than, copying something. Like, it takes them a long time. But they write, I don't think I heard that one.
Tome processes that. He's gonna get it because I'm making him get it. I'm gonna make a straight. I'm just gonna make a straight D20 because I don't know what to roll. I'm too lazy to try and figure it out to see how long it takes him. That's an 18. He figures it out fast. It snaps his theory. Is that your voice?
They do a shrug.
Tome.
They do a shrug.
Tome's doing like the prayer hands right now. So he's just kneeling there, prayer hands. He's like, oh God. Oh God.
I think
Tome's gonna do. Wait, you go.
I think again they say, I am not a liar, and neither was she.
If you didn't hear that, then I can't even curse, and I should have used my curse word now. And he says that. He says that out loud.
I think they
listen. We have humor in this FPS still.
We reach out and they sort of pat his hand consolingly.
He still has a sniffle the whole time during this, but you just see him like rubbing his nose in his head, like I should have used that now. All right. He's gonna cast detect magic on Gloo this time.
Interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting.
Could you send me that spell, actually?
I don't know if it let me send it. Yeah, let me send it to you because it's not technically like on a thing. It's more of the area. There you go. That's detect magic.
All right, let's see here. Please load.
Yeah, you can like learn at School of Magic.
God, I don't have the Schools of Magic memorized.
I'm looking them up real quick. Okay, I got them.
Can you send me the link?
I'm just taking a screenshot of the list.
Fair enough.
Because I literally just Googled it. We're having fun lore in this lore discovery in this FPS.
God. Again, I don't have all of these fucking memorized.
If I remember it correctly, I'm trying to see if I can pull up a quick guide to them. Okay, conjuration is creating objects and creatures or making them disappear. Necromancy is bringing things, is life and death in the form of resurrection or necrotic damage. Evocation is unleash raw magical energy, thinking it like creating fire, ice, stuff like that. Abjuration is spells with basically their protection and shielding. This is just based off Google. Transmutation is changing the properties of stuff, and divination is seeing things like identify, locate creature. Enchantment is enchantment, illusions, illusion, and there you go.
I think that you see, you don't see any necromancy. You don't see any evocation, but there's sort of a loose sort of patchwork of all of these. Like, almost as if, like, they brushed up against, you know, glow-in-the-dark paint.
Oh.
And it's not as if you like. It's not as if, you know, you're looking for, you know, a curse that's actively affecting them. It's not as if like, but it's more like the absence of what should be there.
Yeah. Tome doesn't like this. He's really quiet for a bit. Because he just stands there thinking. I have no idea why you're in the situation you are. I don't even know what the situation is. But I am going to help.
I think they stand very slowly up to their full height. They sort of lean over you. And very, very carefully they pull you into a hug.
Okay, Tome kind of freezes a bit. And he obviously does not know what to do for a second.
I think they let go very quickly.
Wait, no. And right as they start to let go, he goes, wait, sorry. And he hugs back.
They're not very warm to the touch. But
they test a theory of mine, but I don't know if Tome is that smart. Because I have a theory, but I don't know if Tome does. I'm just going to make a straight intelligence roll. If it's a nat 20, and only if it's a nat 20 will I try this. Nope. Tome doesn't connect any dots. Cool.
But
I will... No, it was using mechanics to figure stuff out. So, yeah. So, it would have... That's why... Hi.
Sorry. Man. The last thing I heard was, so that's why I...
Doing a nat 20 only. But because it really would be a stroke of genius for Tome to go, hey, I have this spell that if I cast this could dispel a theory of mine. Specifically, I look at his magic circle.
Actually...
For later.
Oh? I'm very tempted to make you roll history.
I'll do it. That's a straight D20, I think, yeah. That's a 19.
A 19. With a 19... Oh, there's some, like... It's not really your scene, but there's, like a children's story that comes from the sea. Or from the coast, maybe 30 or 20 to 30 miles out of Toontown.
Oof.
About a sea witch who lives on the coast in a cave. And if you pay a price, she'll give you whatever you wish. But the price has to be, it has to be equal to whatever you want.
Tome doesn't like that. Tome doesn't like that. Tome doesn't. Tome's writing that down in his notebook near the glyphs.
But the reason you think of it is there was something about voices, something about names. Names and voices, names but voices.
I take a deep breath as I realize this means the Tome Muse is going to try and find the Sea Witch.
Oh, you're going to go try to find her.
Yes, I know what the Tome Muse would do. I know what it's not going to happen this FPS, but I know what.
Oh, Spec, we'll confer off recording.
Yeah, this is gonna be off recording. But God, I'm just saying. As he writes that down, you see him write a little note underneath. Investigate.
Could Gloo roll to see if they,
Yes.
Okay. I believe that would be it. Yep. That's a nat 20. How much of what he just wrote do they see?
He sees... It's not a lot. He really does write he writes down the name of the story, and he writes down nameless voices. And then he writes down investigate, and he circles all the notes right there.
They grab his wrist.
Tome yanks his wrist back.
They sort of recoil like, oh. And they take their hands back. Sorry.
There's this awkward pause and sweating as Tome starts to close his notebook. I think I can work with this.
They keep their eyes on the page as the notebook closes.
Don't worry about it, Gloo. I'll figure this out.
They just stand there.
There's a pause before Tome lets out a loud sigh. We've had a long talk, haven't we? And I feel like I've asked a lot of very personal questions. Perhaps, maybe we should go get a snack or something, some food. And take that break that the lady told you to do.
Take a break. And they sort of they sigh. And I think they'll just follow wherever he goes with the shadow.
And do you want them to hang out more, or is that what we call it?
That seems like a good place to call it.
We are... we're going on almost... yeah, we went feral.
We went feral.
As we should.
God. Thank you all so much for listening, folks.
Yeah.
This was a delight.
Oh, thank you, all our lovely, lovely listeners. Thank you, author, for doing this. I am hands on your shoulder, so shaky eyes. I will be in your DMs.
Oh, please. If you're going to go after nameless voices, we have things to talk about.
Oh, Tome is absolutely invested in this case now.
Oh, boy. Anyways.
You took a detective and put enrichment in front of him? It's all over.
I should have known envy would be like fucking peanut butter to a puppy.
It was. Plus, even if he doesn't say it, there is a bit of care.
I hold this detective so soft.
I put him in jar and I rattle him very aggressively.
No, wait.
No hold soft.
Wait.
Only rattle.
God. Well, tune in next time, folks. Thank you so much for listening, and have a happy time zone.
Bye.